What is going on, Jets fans? Another day, another Aaron Rodgers rumor report. And if you appreciate it, a thumbs up is an easy way to show it. And we're not going off of random people on Twitter. This one's from Adam Schefter. He wrote an article that was published by ESPN. And he said that league sources tell him that the Packers are at a crossroads and that they, quote unquote, would prefer to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Of course, if the price is right. Now, the Packers, I think a crossroads is a perfect way to describe it by Schefter, because could they retool and go ahead and attack it? And Aaron Rodgers with the healed broken thumb, could they be a playoff team and make some noise in the NFC next year? They absolutely could. They absolutely could. But Jordan Love, a guy who they traded up for in the first round to take, he's coming toward the end of his rookie contract, and eventually another team is going to give him a real opportunity to start. And as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, that's not going to be a realistic possibility for Jordan Love. So the Packers kind of have to weigh, okay, is going and trying to compete with Rodgers for one more year, is that, or 2 more years, at what point is that worth possibly losing out on Jordan Love, who we spent this first round pick on and who we've been developing? I guess it depends on in their building how they feel about Jordan Love's potential as a starter. If they think Love could be a franchise quarterback for the future, then maybe you move off Rodgers and you use some of those picks to support Love, and then you eat some of the dead cap money. I don't know. I think it makes sense. And in terms of draft compensation, I know everyone's saying it's going to be like 17 first-round picks. Of course, every Packers fan, right? Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner, 9 first-round picks, of course. But the most recent trade, honestly, that you could use as a barometer for this one would probably be the Favre trade, a quarterback of Hall of Fame stature who had been traded near their age 40 season. You can't use Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson or even Matt Stafford as barometers for this trade. It's not the same when you're trading a player who's going to be rented for 1 to 2 years. So, okay, maybe a first round pick has to be in there and then something else, but 2 unconditional first round picks are not happening. That's not happening. Nobody's doing that. At least I hope the Joe Douglas isn't doing that. So if the Raiders or somebody else get desperate, then so be it. Aaron Rodgers is probably not going to be a Jet. And one of the biggest questions or the biggest pushbacks I get when wanting the Jets to at least explore, make a solid offer for Aaron Rodgers, is that he's not going to make the Jets a Super Bowl team. Are the Jets a Super Bowl team with Aaron Rodgers? My answer, I have no idea. I have no idea, because you know what? Who were the Super Bowl teams last year? The Bucks, the Rams, the Bills. Any of them playing this weekend? No. Where the Philadelphia Eagles were a hot up and coming team, were they a lot of people's Super Bowl pick? No, they weren't. So if the Jets had Aaron Rodgers, will people be able to pick them to win the Super Bowl and not be laughed at? Yes. Will they be Super Bowl favorites? Will they be favored over the Chiefs and the Bengals in the AFC? Will they be even favored over the Bills to win the AFC East? I don't know. Probably not. But we haven't even gotten to the offseason yet, and things change throughout an offseason, and things change throughout an entire regular season. But I'll tell you this, they're not Super Bowl contenders without him. We know that. We know that. So I could paint you the optimistic version of, Garrett Wilson taking off to the next level, Breece Hall being ready to roll by playoff team time, and AVT back, and maybe a Mekhi Becton appearance in the defense. I could paint you that picture. I could also paint you the negative picture of we don't have a safety, and we don't have a linebacker, and this offensive line, and same old Jets, and Aaron Rodgers was on a down year. And you can look at it however way you want, and you can convince yourself that we're a Super Bowl team with him, or you can convince yourself that'll be the worst thing ever, and it's going to set the franchise back. Set the franchise back to where? No one can ever answer that, because we're at rock bottom when it comes to quarterbacking, but you're not a Super Bowl contender without him. Derek Carr? Okay, we'll save the picks and go get Derek Carr. Okay, pay Derek Carr $40 million. Maybe that's your best option. But do any of us really think that if we pay Derek Carr $40 million a year, we're going to win the Super Bowl? Okay, and maybe it's worth it to be competent, to be competitive, to make the playoffs, and then we eventually draft our own quarterback to develop that's going to take us to that next level, and that's fine. If that's the best we can do, it's the best we can do. But I think to scoff at the idea that Aaron Rodgers can make us a Super Bowl team when we know we're not one without him. We know it. And we're so used to, as Jets fans, we have this idea that every team that has a chance to win it is perfect until we are 3 deep at safety and linebacker and everything is perfect. That's only because we're Jets fans and we don't even understand the magnitude of great quarterbacking and how it elevates everything else and covers for so many other holes. We don't understand that because we haven't seen it. We don't even know. The last time we were competitive was with Mark Sanchez, who is a very below average quarterback, but we had the best offense, like a top 3 offensive line and a top 3 defense. So in our minds, that's the only way you can compete. In our Jets' minds, we don't know if you have a quarterback who just won 2 MVPs, what you could do. Look at the Packers, 2021 Packers, right? They're like 13 wins. They go to the NFC Championship, and they only lose because of a blocked punt. San Francisco blocks a punt, and they lose a 1-possession game. And that team, their left tackle was out for the year. That team didn't have a defense as good as ours. But there they were because of Aaron Rodgers. We'll see. Go Jets.